Hello and welcome. So I have something a little bit different today that I want to share with you. I'm hoping it will be of interest. I'm sure many of us have thought, oh, wouldn't it be lovely to write a book, myself included? And so I wanted to share with you what is the usual basic outline for the kind of book that is a little bit like these here. So I guess these are probably children's books, but you could use the same format for another kind of book. It doesn't have to be a children's book. It's just that these were the ones handy that I pulled out that show the typical layout that a publisher would use. So if we take, let's take our, this is The Bear and the Bad Little Girl to start off with. You can see here is our front cover. And then we have something called a half title. Now this one has got "This book belongs to," but it could just say "This is the Bear and the Bad Little Girl." Then we have what are called the front end papers. So these are the front end papers. Now, sometimes they will have something like this on them. Sometimes they'll just have a pattern, a sort of a repeating pattern. Yeah, it's a design feature, basically. And then what we have after our front end papers is a kind of copyright what I call the copyright publisher page. And on the opposite side of that, we actually have our proper title with the writer and the illustrator and the publisher at the bottom. So then we go into 12 spreads. When I say spreads, it means both pages. So this would be spread number 1. Now, it doesn't have to be this layout. It could be any layout. You might have a picture and writing on this page, or yeah, it could be any combination of things, but this would be called your spread number 1, spread number 2, spread number 3, number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and finally 12. So 12 what we call spreads. Then you have the back end papers that are normally the same as the front end papers. So that's our where we can put a design of some kind. And this is sometimes left blank. It could have a you know, I'd like to thank so and so and so and so for helping me write this book. And then obviously we have our back cover. So I've kind of scribbled this out as an indicator. And then I thought, right, well, let's just test it out with another book. So this book is called Room on the Broom, and it's by Julia Donaldson, and the illustrator is Axel Scheffler. So obviously front cover again, followed by the half title. So this one is a half title, Room on the Broom, Room on the Broom. Then we've got our front end papers. We've got our copyright publisher page, and then our proper title page with the writer, the illustrator, and the publisher. And then we go into, again, our 12 spreads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In fact, hold the thought on 6. You can see that the layout is quite different to the other book. 7, 8. It's showing you how you can have different layouts. 9, 10, 11, and finally 12. So we've done our 12 spreads. Then we have our back end papers with a design on. And then we have, I've put blank here because, you know, it can be a thank you. You can still have a little picture in there. And then obviously we've got our back cover. So this, having looked it up, is the typical layout that we would have for if you're wanting to do a little illustrative type book. And I also found something that was quite useful. So what I will do is I will scan this in, and I will put a link so that if you want to, you can have a copy of this. The Novel Factory, I'll put a link to the Novel Factory, has plot outlines for various types of stories. And this is the plot outline for a short story. And it's broken down into 3 parts. So in part 1, or act 1, it's making sure that we've got a character, we've got a situation, and there's usually some kind of problem. Then in the second part, or act 2, our character is going to try and solve the problem. Maybe they fail, maybe they make it worse, maybe their efforts go by the wayside. And then in the third section of the book, or act 3, this is where you know, they will make a final attempt, and they'll either succeed or they'll fail. Maybe the consequences are not as expected. Maybe they have to make some choice between, I don't know, maybe like something that they want or something that they need, and they have to decide which they're going to do. And maybe they either get what they deserve based on their choice. So yeah, it's an ending basically. So they give you some quite interesting information on how you might flesh out a little short story plot, which I thought was quite useful. Not that I had that. So I started to, where is my, I will have to find it in here. You can see where I started to do, because the bit that is, you know, the bit that you have to get done first really are these 12 spreads, the 12 double page spreads. So I started to come up and draw out my 12 double page spreads for a story about a robin. And I think, yeah, and then I kind of came up with the words. I was trying to make it rhyme, so please don't copy this. But I decided to call my robin Byron because it's an anagram of Robin. So Byron the robin couldn't sing. His parents told him it's what he must do to have a family and a home too. But Byron thought he should not worry, as worry won't work and neither will hurry. I'll have my own song when the time is right, he told everyone in a voice cheery and bright, and so it goes on. And basically, because he doesn't worry too much, he doesn't get himself stressed out, he does find his voice at the end, and a home and a family. So I wasn't sure whether I liked that one enough, and in the end I decided to have another go with a robin and a blackbird. My whole idea there was that the robin feels, the blackbird feels sad because he's not as colourful as the robin with his red chest. But the robin admires the blackbird's sleek and elegant ebony feathers and his bright orange beak. And it's the story of, you'll see I started to come up with some ideas. And then started to write an outline for these 12 spreads, basically, and then never got any further. So apart from drawing lots and lots of robins and blackbirds and trying to work out, did I want them to be more illustrative? Did I want them to look more realistic? What did I want? That was as far as I got, really. But I think it's something that I will go back to. Excuse me, just having a quick sip of my decaf tea. And I think many of us have an idea that we would, like to write a book or illustrate a book, and I might well carry on with my blackbird and my robin. Who knows? Who knows? But, is it something that you've ever thought of having a go at? This is just a really quick little video in case anyone was interested in how you might make a start, how you might go about writing and illustrating, a little short book, really. And you could, get something like this self-published. You could make your own. So yeah, just a thought, and I hope that you find that a little bit interesting. And yeah, let me know. Should I stick with my robin story, or do you think I should go with the robin and the blackbird? And I'm feeling like the blackbird, maybe he's a bit depressed. I mean, I probably would come up with that being a psychotherapist, but maybe I could make my story a little bit around my poor little blackbird, who doesn't feel like he's as good as the robin. Got a bit of a complex. Yeah. So I've got a bit stuck on it, but maybe some of you will have some brilliant ideas. Let me know. And another story that I started to do was my pot belly bear, as he's called. So I made some inroads. Yeah, that's where this is. Trying to work out how I would draw my pot belly bear, because he's got this pot belly, and maybe some poses that he would be in. And I think, yet again, I struggled with coming up with a story. So my idea was that, basically he was sat on a shelf, and he gets very bored because he's not being played with. And so he starts looking through a book that's full of lovely landscape pictures. And that would mean that I could get some of my landscape pictures in there, and it could be a combination of, Potbelly Bear imagining that he's on the swing that dangles from the tree, at the edge of the woods or something, and then I could draw the swing and the edge of the woods, and Potbelly Bear sat on the swing. That was another idea. You can see I've started these ideas and never really got anywhere with them. So maybe you've already done a book yourself. If you have, maybe you've got some tips for us that you could put in the comments below. I think it is a topic that many of us play around with, but I'm not sure how many of us actually ever achieve. So, but it's on the back burner for me, and I think it will be something that I eventually do. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there for today. Just a quickie, just a short one. And have a lovely morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And hopefully you are subscribed so that, you know, you're helping to support the channel, helping me to keep putting the videos up. It doesn't cost a penny to subscribe. And if you haven't already looked, maybe you want to have a little look at Patreon. Obviously any videos in there don't have all the adverts that you might get on YouTube. I also provide some reference pictures. I think they'll be going up next week. And I do a little pod chat that you can listen to on particular topics. So, and as soon as there's enough Patreons, I will start doing some Zoom sessions where we can all sketch together. So yes, that's what's kind of happening over on my Patreon. So yeah, do feel free to go and have a little look over there. All right, stay safe, stay healthy, stay calm, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching.